This is the Roulette Master, and I cannot wait to introduce you to the incredible new system that Chip Tracy's been using to win in Las Vegas with. This is called Hold Your Course, and I can't wait to share with you how it works. So let's jump right in and get started and place the bets. And we're going to look at the last number that hit. It's in the second 12, and he always places a $5 bet on the double street in the center of the last 12 that hit. And then on the other two, we're going to look and see which side it hits on, which is the right side would be the 21. We're going to go the other side on the other 2 dozens, and we're going to put double streets there. So let's go ahead, and that means we go left with both of them. And then we're going to put $1 on 0 and $1 on double 0 for a $17 total bet. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. Let's see how this does. And that is a 3. That's a $13 win to start. And we're going to look at that last number that hit, the 3. It's in the first 12. So we put first we'll put the dollar on 0 double 0, but then we'll put a $5 bet on the double street in the center of that dozen, and then the 3's on the left side, so the other 2 go on the right. And then let's go ahead and spin, and here we go. All right, this is called Hold Your Course by Chip Tracy. He plays in Las Vegas and has been winning with this, so let's see how it does for us today. We're up $26 already. The first 12 hit, and that is an 8. So that means since the 8's on the right side of that dozen, we're going to go to the left side on the other 2. Okay, and then we need to put our dollar bets on the 0 double 0. And let's go ahead and spend $17 total bet. And here we go. That's a 29 black. It's another nice win. We're already up $39 now. And let's see, let's put the dollar bet on 0 double 0. And then looks like the 29 hits, so we'll put that in the center of the third 12. And the 29's on the left side, so we'll put the other 2 bets on the right side of the other 2 dozens and spin. And let's see what we get here. Okay, that's a 24 black. It's another $13 win. Now we're up $52. So we'll place a $5 bet in the center of the second 12. And then the 24 is on the right side, so we'll play the left side of the other 2. And place our dollar bets and spin. It's nice to have good coverage of the zeros with this system. And here we go. That's a 26 black. Another win, another $13 win. We're up $65. And we'll put the 0 double 0 bet out first. 26 is in the third 12. We put that in the center, and it's on the left side, so we pick the right side of the other 2 dozens and spin. And he says this betting system has really worked for him lately, and that's a 35 black. I can't wait to see how this does for the full 15 minutes. And we lost one there, so we're going to go ahead now, and we're going to move. Actually, that was the one before that was the 26, so we're still in the third 12. And the 35 is on the right side. So we need to change those bets. Let's go ahead and do that. So we'll have 5 in the center of the third 12. And then the 35 is on the right side. So we'll go to the left side this time. And then we need to double the bet because we lost. So let's go ahead and do that and spin. We're at $34 total bet now. And by moving these around, that keeps you from losing a lot of back-to-back spins on the same numbers. And that's a $34 loss there. So now, all of a sudden, that was a 20 black. We're going to place a $5 bet there. And remember, we're going to have to double twice now because we lost again. So the other one, the 20's on the right side, so we'll go to the left side. Put the other 2 out. And now we have to double twice because we've lost twice. Let's go ahead and spin. This is a $68 total bet. Okay, that's a 0, and that's why we covered the 0 with this. That's a $76 win. And we're up $90 now. We can go ahead and restart. And since the 0 hit last, we're going to go with the one that hit before that, the 20. So we'll be 5 on the center. And then 5, let's see, that's on the right side. So we'll go left side. And then 0 double 0. Okay, let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. And you can tell the 0 double 0, each of them have $1 on there. And we're up $103 now. So if we were to do that in each of those double streets, that would equate to $6. We have 5 on each. So you can tell that's a little bit different payout, but still really good. We're up $103. So let's go ahead and put a $5 bet on 1619 because we just hit the 19 and it's on the right side. So we'll go to the left and then put the 000 back out there and spin. And here we go. Okay, so we have a little bit more money on the 000 than the rest of the bets. So that's a little better payout. Okay, that's a loss. We'll put our bets back out and then we'll need to double them. We're going to move them around and we'll be right here in the center again. 22's on the right. So we'll go left on both and then double and then spin. All right, here we go. Again, this is called Hold Your Course by Chip Tracy. He's been winning with this in Las Vegas lately. And that's a nice $26 win. We're up $112. And then we're going to third 12 now. And the 25 is on the left, so we'll go to the right on the other two. And here we go. We don't want those there, though. Now we're ready to go. $17 total bet, base level. And here we go. He says the goal for this should be $300 of profit. This is a $1,000 bankroll system. And let's go ahead now and let's place our next bets. So the 3 hit. So we're going to be moving a $5 bet to the middle of the first 12 and then a $5 bet to the right side of the other 2 because the 3 is on the left, and then we're going to need to double up. You can see on that last one we lost 17, so we doubled up to 34, and now we spin with the Hold Your Course roulette system. That's a 3 red, and we lost that one, back-to-back 3s. So we're going to go ahead now, and let's see, that bet stays the same. The 3's on the left. These bets actually all stay the same because we hit back-to-back 3s, so all we do is double. We go from 34 to 68 and spin, and here we go. Okay, that's a 21 red. That's a nice $52 win. We're up 113, and now we'll be on second 12. And he said that sometimes you have small setbacks. He says it's no big deal, just roll with it. And the 21's on the right side, so we're going to go left on the other 2 dozens. And then let's put our dollar bets out there. I like that this has 000 coverage. It's already helped us out. And we get a little bit better payback on the 000 with this one. That's a 16 red. That's a nice $13 win. We're up 126. And let's see where our next bets go. Okay, we're looking at second 12. So let's put that in the center. 16's on the left. So we go right with the other 2. And let's spin. So far, so good with the Hold Your Course roulette system. But let's see how this does for the full 15 minutes. And that's a 5 red. And we lost. So now we're going to place our next bets and then double them. So we'll be on the middle of the first 12. The 5's on the left. So we go right with the other 2. And then we'll need to double those bets. You can see, or I'll show you here in a second, you can see we lost 17. So that means we're going to double to 34 and spin. Okay, we have 20 numbers covered with this, 18 in the double streets, and there's the zeros, which are good with this system. And they're actually a better win than the rest of the numbers because we have $1 on each, and we only have $5 on the double streets, which is 6 numbers. Now we're up $147, and the last number to hit was the 5, so we'll go ahead and place some $5 bets where they need to go. Right here, and the 5's on the left. The other 2 go on the right, and let's spin. We're back at base level, and this is the Hold Your Course roulette system by Chip Tracy. That's an 18 red. Okay, we lost that one. Let's place our next bets, and we hit the second 12. You can see on that last one we lost 17, so we know the next one's going to be double that because we lost, and the 18's on the left, so the other 2 are going to be on the right. And then we need to double that bet up from 17 to 34 and spin. So far, so good, but let's see where this one takes us. That's a 33 black. That's a nice $26 win. We're up 156. Let's put our bets on the zeros to start. And then center of the third 12 that just hit. 33 is on the right, so we go left with the other 2. And he said this betting pattern has really been working for him, and it's working for us today so far. Let's see if this continues, and here we go. That's a 7 red. That's a loss, so we were at base level there. So will be center of the first 12, and the 7's on the right, so we'll go left with the other two. And then we need to remember, oh, and those need to be dollar bets. We need to remember to double up. So we'll go 17 to 34 and spin. And here we go. Usually, the casino has more numbers than you because of the 000 when you're betting even money. But we're betting 20 numbers here, which is great. So that's a loss. So let's place our bets again. That hit the 36. So we're going to be over here in the center of the third 12. The 36 is on the right, so we'll go left with the other two. And we have to double twice because we were at 34. Now we're going to be at 68. And here we go. We didn't double twice from where we were before, but we did from the base level, if that makes sense. So that's at 68, and we lost. So now we'll be on first 12. And 8 is on the right, so we'll go left with the other two. And then put those up there. And then remember, we were at 68, so we're going to double that to 136. And let's see if we can get a win right here. Again, this is a $1,000 bankroll system, and that's a 34 red. We lost again. So now we have to place our next bets out there. And let's see. So we're going to be, let's go ahead and see. Just so it lets us double enough times, we'll start with 10 on each of these to get up to that 136 and then double. So we'll put it on the center there. And then the 34 is on the right, so we'll go left with both. And then we'll put $2 each on the 000. And let's see. So we need to double up to 272. We were half that. So let's go ahead and get a win right here. And I think we'll have a win coming our way. Here we go. Okay, that's a 22 black. Ouch, we lost again. And let's see how much we have left of that $1,000 bankroll. It looks like we have, between 5 and, well, actually we have a little over $600 left in the bankroll. So let's go ahead and do that again. This time we'll go ahead and start with 20 on each just so we can get it up there, right? Because you can see on that last one we lost 272. We're going to have to double that up. So let's see, that was the 22. We'll put it in the center there at 20. And then let's see, the 22 is on the right, so we'll go left. Okay, and this usually starts with 5. We're starting with 20 here, so that means there'd be $4 each on the 000. And we're going to double this back up to 544, which is double the last bet. And this is our final attempt. We cannot lose this one. We need to get a win here. So, Chip, I hope we get a win here. Let's see if we do. That's a 29 black. Okay, that's a $416 win. We're only up $45 now. So Chip said if that happens, you just start back at base level but increase the bet. So let's go ahead now and we'll put a $2 on each. And let's go back to where we started. The 29's in the middle. We'll start with 10 instead of 5 now and build it back up. So let's go ahead and we'll put 10 and the 29's on the left. So we'll go right. Just like that. And this is double where we normally start. Should help us get our profit back up there, especially if we can get a win at base level here. Okay, that's a nice $26 win. And until we get back in session profit, we're going to start at 10 instead of 5. So now we'll be on the center of the second 12. And then on the other two, the 24 is on the right, so we'll go left. And then if we do that, we need $2 each on the 000. Okay, that's a $34 total bet, and let's spin. Let's get our profit back up there, and that's a 5 red. That's a nice $26 win, so now you can see we're up 97, and the reason we're staying with the $10 bets is because we're not in session profit, so we'll start with 10 on first 12 in the center, and 5's on the left, so we'll go right, and then put $2 each on the 000. That gets us a $34 starting bet instead of 17. And here we go. That's a 30 red. And we lost that one, so we're going to double that up. But first, let's see here. We're going to put the bets back out. Third 12 in the center. And then on the other two, the 30's on the left, so we're going to go right. And let's put those bets back out there. And you can see on the last one we lost 34, so it should be double that. So we'll double to 68, and let's get a win right here. All right, so this is the Hold Your Course Roulette System by Chip Tracy. That's a 31 black. That's a nice $52 win. We're up 115, and we're still not in session profit, so we're going to start at 10 again instead of 5. And let's go ahead now and put the 31s on the right. So let's put it on the left on the other two. And then remember to start at 2 each on the 0 double 0 because we started at double the other bets. Okay, here we go. That's a 17 black. And we got the win. The 15 minutes is up and we made $141. Not the $300 that Chip said your goal is, but you can keep playing with this till you get to $300 profit. And that's just because we had that really long stretch where we didn't hit with 20 numbers. And that can happen sometimes. So again, this is a $1,000 bankroll system. And let me know what you think of it down in the comments. As usual, Chip's been doing really well with this in Las Vegas. Thank you, Chip, for sending this in. And now we have another Blast from the Past video coming up. I hope you're enjoying those. That'll be coming up right now. Here we go. This is the Roulette Master. One of my subscribers, Eric, says he has an unbelievable new roulette system called Compounding Interest, and I can't wait to share it with you and how he's making money in the casino. Today, we're going to put his incredible new system up against another fantastic system in a head-to-head matchup. This is going to be Sonny's Lucky 26 first, and I can't wait to see which one of these wins, and let's just get started. So we're going to start with $12 on second and third column with Sonny's Lucky 26. And then we're also going to have $1 on the 0 and on the double 0. That's a $26 total bet. You can see we have a 0 balance. Let's go ahead and spin. And let's get this competition started and see which one makes the most money. That's an 18 red. And that's a nice $10 win to start. So we're up $10. We're just going to go ahead and rebet and spin. We have second and third column covered as well as the 0 double 0. And this is one of those ones you can say, hey, I want it to hit the 0, and it's good for you. We're up $20 now. Let's rebet and spin. Once we have losses, I'll share with you how Sonny deals with those. And here we go. That's an 11 black. Okay, that's another $10 win. We're up 30. We'll just go ahead and rebet and spin. And anytime I do one of Sonny systems, I always want to let you know he likes when you get up a good amount to cash out and not keep playing forever. So keep that in mind. We're at $40. Let's rebet and spin again. And here we go. And for everyone has a different, an idea of how much that you should cash out with. But when you're playing roulette, usually if you've won 10 to 20% of your starting fund, it's probably it's not a bad idea to cash out. So that's a good return. And here we go. That's a 30 red. But let's see how much it makes today, and let's see how this new system of the day, Compounding Interest, does as well. We're up $60 already. Let's rebet and spin. Here we go. So far, so good. Let's hit that 0. 14 will work as well. That's another nice win, and we're up 70. And let's go ahead and spin. Sometimes I think I can tell which number it's going to hit on. I'm sure you guys think that way sometimes. That's a 20. That's another win. Okay, we're up 80. Let's rebet and spin. If only we had that power, right? And here we go. That's an 18 red. Another win. We're up $90 now. We're just going to rebet and spin again. And Sonny never bets on the first column. He says the second and the third column are far superior because of where they're at on the roulette wheel, where the numbers are. That's another win. So we're up $100. Let's rebet and spin. So he always bets on second and third column, never the first. Doesn't mean the first can't hit, but he prefers that, again, based on where the numbers are. And that's another win. So now we're up $110. Let's rebet and spin. And again, once we have losses, I'll share with you how Sonny deals with those. And here we go. That's a 25 red. Okay, we lost. So when we lose with this, we're going to double up from 26 to 52 and spin. And here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, there's one win. That's a $20 win. We're up $104. We're going to try to get 2 wins before resetting. And here we go. That's an 18 red. That's another nice $20 win. So we won 40 on those last 2 spins. We're up $124 now. let's go back to where we started at $26. Okay, and here we go. And let's spin. All right. So definitely picking up profit every time we recover like that, and that's a 10 black. We lost, so we're going to double up again from 26 to 52 and spin. And here we go. That's a 5 red. That's a $20 win. We're up $118 now. And we're going to try to get a second win. If you didn't go for the second win, you would be getting set back at least $6 per spin. And that's a 33. That's another win. So we restart. We're up $138. So let's go ahead now and go back to 26 after those 2 wins. But one thing you can do is once you get up a lot, you could reset after 1, and then you would take basically some setbacks, but it would be safer at that point. So that'd be one way to play if you were up a lot. We're up $148, and let's rebet and spin. But the best thing to do is just play it till you're happy with the profit, and then cash out. And again, 10 to 20% is pretty good. We're already up a good amount. We're up $158. So we've already achieved. This is a $2,000 bankroll system, so we've already achieved about 15% already. And here we go. That's a 3 red. That's another win. Okay, we're up $168. And let's spin again. And either way, we're going to play it for the full 15 minutes because that's what we do on this channel, is test it for longer periods of time so that you can see the good and the bad with each system. But just know that with any of Sonny's systems, and we're up $178, he likes to cash out in that 10 to 20% range. And that's a 13 black. And that's a loss. So let's go ahead now, and we're going to double up and try to get our 2 wins. And here we go. That's a 17 black. It's another win. We're up 172. And you can see at this point, we could easily reset after 1 win and take a small setback. We'd still be in great shape. But we'll go for 2 here, and that's an 11 black. Okay, that's a $20 win. So we're up $192 now. Let's drop back to 26 and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 30 red. Okay, that's a $10 win. We're up 202. And there's 20%. So Sonny would be cashing out right now and declaring victory over the casino, just like those shirts that we have at the roulettemaster.com that Sonny inspired. And it definitely helps you remember when to cash, that it's time to cash out when you're up a lot. Let's double up after that loss and spin. And again, once you get up, your goal, you can easily reset after 1 win and take, a small hit and be perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and do that now just to show you what that's like. We're up 196. So if we reset here and go back to 26, we'll take a small loss. However, it's much safer. So once you get up a good amount, it's not a bad idea, to play, with a little safer, because see, we lost that one. So now we're going to go ahead and double up and spin. And it's not that big of a hit, and it's much safer to reset after 1 win. But again, just do that if you're happy with where you're at and you want to play a little bit safer. So there's 1 win there. We're up 190. So we could go for the second win here, but we're close to our, what we want at 200. So let's just drop it back again to 26 and spin. And I think, it's important not only to try to make a lot of money with these strategies, but to protect your bankroll. And there's a nice win there. So we would have won on the second spin. But we're still back up $200, so you have to remember that as well. And safety is not a bad thing, and protecting your bankroll is always the most important thing. That's a 36 red. That's another win. Okay, now we're up $210. And sure, if we had, if we had been doubling each time that we, if we had tried to get 2 wins each time, we'd be up, a little bit more than we are now. But we're still doing fantastic, and we're up 220. But when you're up a lot, it's nice knowing that you're playing safer and protecting what you've won already. Okay, that's going to hit the 0, I think. Oh, man, that was close. That's a 28 black. That's a loss, so we're going to double up and spin. And again, normally we try to get 2 wins, but let's see where we're at here. That's a 21 red. Okay, and I would still recommend resetting after 1 win because we're up $214. We've already made, over our our 20%, but I actually played it again there. So let's see what happens on this one. We went for a second time there. Okay, we got it on that one. But again, don't feel like you have to. We're up $234. And again, you can play safer with this one once you get up a good amount. So keep that in mind. And here we go. That's a 21 red. Okay, that's a nice win. We're up $244. And let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. Oh, there's that zero. I should have called that one, right? But in this is a good system for hitting zeros. We're up $254. And this is one where you want to root for hitting those zeros. And here we go. It's going to go at it again almost. Oh, my goodness. Another 28. That is another loss on the 28. Let's double up to 52 and spin. And here we go. That's a 24 black. And again, since we're over our profit goal already, we're going to reset to 26 after one win. And we're going to play it safe. Let's see if that was a good idea or not on this next spin. Hit the zero. That is a 2 black. That's a good one. So again, that cost us a little bit by not doing it twice, but we're up 258. And if we had got, a loss there, you never know. It could have spiraled into us, losing a good portion of our bankroll. So, wow, it hit the 2 there again. Back to back. Okay, so we're up $268. And you can see, even with us playing safe, we're still picking up some profit, even with those setbacks. So that's why it's good to do that once you're up a good amount. So that's a $10 win there. We're up $278. And it also shows that if even though you have setbacks with one win, you could actually accumulate profit with one win as well. That's a $10 win there. We're up $288. And let's rebet and spin. All right, here we go. With Sonny's Lucky 26. And that's a 23 red. That's another win. All right, so we're up $298, almost $300 profit already. That's incredible. And here we go. Okay, that's an 11 black. Okay, that's a $10 win. We're up 308. And Sonny, I'm sorry I missed you on that last trip when we were at Resorts World a bunch, but we will be back very soon. And hopefully, I'll run into some of you guys in Las Vegas here in a couple weeks. So we're up $318. I'll be there for Labor Day weekend. And I'll be, we'll be about half and half on the Strip and on the Fremont Street. But you guys well know I love Fremont Street, so we'll definitely be there. And I'm bringing a bunch of people with me on this trip. So let's go ahead and double up and spin. We'll see if we can get a win here and reset and take a small loss and preserve what we've won. That's a 5 red. And we did. So let's go ahead and reset. We're still up $312. We'll take a small loss there. And let's protect what we've won. And let's see if it was a good idea or a bad idea right here. Either way, it's much safer. And that's a 32 red. Okay, we would have made more if we had stuck there. We're up 322. But again, we're protecting what we've won. And again, like Sonny always says, he cashes out at 10 or 20%. So, we're well over that right now. So let's go ahead now and double up after that loss and see if we can get a win here. And even if you lose on the first one and you double up, you could still take a small loss with a single win and recover. Let's go ahead and reset. We're up 316. We'll take a small loss here and go back to 26. And even though I'm saying, we're taking a small loss by not going twice, we're still increasing profits because we're getting more wins at base level. And we're up 326. And the reason we're getting wins at base level is because we have so many numbers covered. We have 26. So we have, obviously we're going to win more than we're going to lose because we have more than half the numbers. And we're up $336. Let's go ahead and spin. All right, here we go. All right, that's a 2 black. That's a $10 win. We're up $346. And let's spin again. And here we go. So it's not only good, I think, to show you guys how to make money, but how to preserve money. And we're up 356. And here we go. Because there's nothing worse than winning a lot of money and then giving it all back. Because those are usually the days that you have huge losses. Because when you give it all back, then all of a sudden, most people press to try to get it back. And we're going to double up after that loss there. And here we go. We want to preserve what we've won. That's a 21 red. That's a nice win. Let's reset after one win. We're still up $350. Let's go back to 26 and spend. All right, we'll see if that was a good idea right now. And that's a 9 red. Okay, it cost us a little bit, but that's okay. We're still up $360. And again, we're playing safe now because we want to take home what we've made so far. That's a 36 red. That's another nice win. And again, we're also making that up by getting wins at base level like we did right there. We're up 370. So, keep that in mind as well. And here we go. It'll be interesting to see if you played it in the safety mode the whole way through, how much you would be up. So we'll have to do that one of these days. We're up 380. Let's rebet and spend. All right, here we go. Okay, that's a 33 black. That's a $10 win. We're up $390. We're getting close to the time limit on this one. And then I can't wait to see if that new system of the day compounding interest makes more than this in 15 minutes. But there is a loss. We're going to double up and spin. Let's see if we can get a win here. And here we go. Hit the 0. Oh, 28 black. And I think that's about the 4th time we've done that. Let's double up again to 104. And this is the highest we've gotten the progression so far. So here we go. That's a 23 red. That's a win. Okay, that's it. But it barely set us back. We're up 352, and the time just expired. So we're not going to go for a second win because we're preserving what we've won. We've won well over the 20%, the 10 to 20% that Sonny likes, and $352 profit after 15 minutes is pretty awesome. Let me know what you guys think of this down in the comments as usual. Now it is time for the incredible new roulette system of the day, compounding interest, and let's see if it can make more than $352 in the next 15 minutes. Here we go. All right, the time is finally here for compounding interest roulette system, and I'm going to place the bets and share with you how this works. So let's go ahead and get that out there. And here we go. We're going to have a $5 bet on the 0002 to start, and then we're going to have some split bets here. And then also, these are going to be connected by some corner bets. Just like that. And then we also have one right there. That's a $60 total bet. You can see we have a 0 balance. Let's go ahead and spin. And let's make some money. Here we go. That's a 20 black. That should be a good one. That's a $75 win right out of the gate. And we're just going to rebet and spin. And then I'll share with you what to do on partial losses and total losses as we go through this. That's a 26 black. That's another $75 win. We're already up $150. But we will have some partial losses and total losses with this. And a good amount of partial losses. And again, we're going to use the safety feature on that here. That's another $75 win. We're up $225 already. And even though we're climbing quickly, it doesn't mean that it's going to continue. Let's find out what happens here. That's a 32 red. Another win, 75 bucks. We're up $300 already. All right, let's go ahead and spin. So really fast start here, but we're going to test it for the full 15 minutes and see what kind of ups and downs this new roulette system has. And there's a total loss. So with this one, if we have a total loss, we double up from 60 to 120 and spin. And here we go. Okay, that's a 12 red. Okay, and that's a partial loss. So on partial losses with this system, we don't increase. We leave the bet the same. So we just take that hit and keep going. And that's a 28 black. Another one. Man, let's go ahead and double that up from 120 to 240. We have actually a lot of numbers, covered without having total losses. We have 26 there, but let's go ahead and spin again. Hopefully we can get a win here. Or at least something that's not a total loss. That's a 4 black. Oh my goodness, that's really unlucky there. Let's go from 240 to 480 and get a win. So we're getting a bunch of first column hits here. That's a 5 red. Okay, that's a nice $600 win there. So now we're up, oh my goodness, $450. My goodness. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to where we started at $60. So here we go. Okay, so that's 60, $5 on each. And let's go ahead and spin. I also need to cover what happens when you hit the 0, 0, and the 2 and all that good stuff. That's a 19 red. Okay, that's a total loss. We're going to double up. We're going to go from 60 to 120 and spin. And here we go. That's a 2, and that's definitely not a loss there. That's a $90 win. How about that? Now we're at $480. Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go back to 60 where we started. That's really good profit so far. Okay, now if we hit the 0, 0, we're going to break even. Let's see if we hit one of those. That's an 8 black. Excuse me. That's a nice $75 win there. We're at $555, but it's still early. We're only 3 minutes in out of this 15-minute test of this system. It remains to be seen if this will continue or not, but starting out great. We're already up $630. And again, on partial losses, we're not increasing the bet, only on total losses. And there's a 0, so that should be a break even. But guess what? It doesn't cost us anything, and it keeps us from losing. So that's fantastic. And let's spin again. But the 2 is a nice payout of $90. And here we go. That's a 16 red. That's a loss. Let's go ahead and double up from 60 to 120 and spin. And here we go. And the only total losses are there in the first column. Okay, that's a partial loss. We do not increase the bet on those. We're still up $540. So we can take a small hit like that and not increase the bet and leave it the same. That's a 27 red. Another partial loss. We're still up $510. We don't increase the bet. We just rebet and spin. And here we go. That's a 21 red. Another partial loss. We just take it. We're at 480 still. We rebet and spin. All right. If we were increasing the bet on those, you would run out of your bankroll pretty quickly. And that's a 30 red. There's another partial loss. We can take it, though. We're still at $450, and we're only 4.5 minutes in. That's the safety aspect of this one. And you can also play this one with dollar bets, and would be even, well, incredibly safer with dollar bets. But you're going to make a lot more money with these $5 bets, and we'll go over the bankroll on this here in a second. That's a, let's see. Okay, we doubled up. It's time to get a win. That's a 10 black. Ooh, that's a total loss. Let's double up again from 240 to 480. So we start with a $60 bet. It'd be a $12 bet if you use dollar units. You still could make some good money, but there's our hit. That's a $600 win. Now we're up $690. So again, you could make all these bets. Instead of having a $60 bet to start, you could have a $12 bet to start. And those would just all be dollar bets. And you can play this. He says you can play this with a $2,000 bankroll. At this bet amount, it looks like it'd almost be safer to play with 3. But we'll go with what he said he's been using. And but if you do it with dollar bets, you should be able to do it for much, much less. And there's a loss. We're going to double up. We're still up $630. And that's why you always want to test these systems yourself afterwards. You might test it out and say, hey, you know what? I don't think his bankroll was right. Or, always test them out before you take them to the casino. And that's a $30 loss. We're still up $600. We're going to leave the bet the same and spin. And the only way that you have a bunch of losses in a row if you just hit first column over and over and over again. And that's a $30 loss because these $30 losses right here, these partial losses are not increasing the bet. They're not getting us in trouble. And there's a nice hit on 17 black. That's a $150 win. We're up $720. Let's go back to 60 where we started. And again, we're up $720. Let's go ahead and spin. And here we go with the compounding interest roulette system. That's a 19 red. And that's a loss. Let's double up. And again, the only way you have a bunch of losses in a row is if you just keep hitting first column. But it's also a good reason to cash out when you're up a good amount. We're going to test it longer like we always do, though, to see if things go south or if things do amazing. And the only way to do that is to play it longer. Let's see what we get here. And that's a 28 black. And ouch, we just hit, I believe, 3 in a row on first column. Yep, the 19, the 31, and the 28. So hopefully it doesn't do that anymore. That would not be good. And here we go. Ooh, it almost hit the 17 there, but I tell you what, the 5's just as good as the 17. So we're up $900. I just like the number 17. But we're up $900 now, so that actually paid off, even though you can tell there is some risk at this high bet amount. So this would be much, much safer with dollar units. And let's go ahead and spin. And here we go. So I would still recommend, if with dollar units, just to be safe, I would play with at least $1,000 bankroll. Because you're still placing a $12 bet to start. It's not like you're betting $1 total. And let's go ahead and double up after that loss. We just hit the first column again. And this is making a ton of money, but I could see that if you had a big string of first column, it could really bite you. And that's a $30 loss. And remember, do not increase the bet when you have those losses that are partial. So here we go. That's a 36 red. That's another partial loss. We're up $780. And we're going to take those losses. And let's see what we get here. That's a 27 red. Another $30 loss. We're up $750. But no big deal. You can take those $30 hits and keep going. Ooh, we almost hit the 2. That would have been good. But we broke even with the 0. And we're up $750. We're still at the 120 bet. We're being patient, using our bankroll to our advantage, and waiting for a good hit. And that's a 22 black there. That's a loss. That's another first column hit. So we're going to have to double up to 240. And here we go. Okay, that's a 15 black. That's a $60 loss, partial loss. We're still up $570, so we are not going to increase. And as the bets get higher, those partial losses do start to add up. But that's a 14 red, and that's what we've been waiting for. That's a $300 win. Now we're back up $870. So you can see this system definitely cycles. And when we get done, I'm going to give some recommendations for this one, even though we're doing really well right now. And I think it could be a very good system for you to make money. We'll probably make some little changes to this. Okay, that's we're up $855, and we're not going to double up because that was a partial loss. So you got to make sure you don't accidentally do that. I almost hit the button there, and that's a 16 red. That's a total loss. That's why you don't want to do it on those partial losses, because the two combined could really add up and get you in trouble. So that's a 2. All right, that's a nice win. That's a $90 win. We're up $885. And let's go back to 60. All right, let's go ahead and spin and see what we get here. Okay, that's a 22 black. Another first column hit, so we're going to double up from 60 to 120 and spin. And let's see where this takes us. We have about 4 minutes left. And I can't wait to see how much this makes after the 15 minutes. You know, we'll see if it continues to do fantastic, or if, you know, if it hits a wall. And the only way to know is to test it out. And here we go. That's a 12 red. And that's a $60 loss. We just take that loss. We're still up $645. And let's go ahead and spend. And you can see how this one's cycling up and down. Obviously, you'd want to cycle, cash out when you cycle up. That's another total loss. So not good. We're going to double up to 480 now. And here we go. Okay, that's a 23 red. That's a good one. That's what we've been waiting for. That's a $600 win. Now we're up over $1,000. Fantastic. But I'm still going to make some safety recommendations when we get done here. So make sure you stick around for that. And obviously this makes a ton of money when things go well. So we're up over $1,000. Let's go ahead and spin. This is the compounding interest roulette system. And that's a 35 black. That's a partial loss. So we're going to take that loss. We're still up $990, and we're just going to spin again. Okay, that's an 11 black. That's a nice $75 win. We're up $1,065, and we're still at base level here, so that's fantastic, and let's keep it there. That's a 22 black. That's another loss. First column hit, so we're going to double up from 60 to 120. And here we go. That's a 34 red. I think that's another loss. It is. That's a first column hit. That's 2 of those in a row. That's not good. So let's double up to 240 and see if we can get a win here, or at least something that's not a loss. And that's a partial loss. We'll keep the bet the same. We'll take that $60 hit. We're still up $825. And let's spin again. That's a 28 black. Another total loss. Ouch. Okay, we're up at 585 now. We're going to double up to 480. And here we go. We got 2 minutes left with this one coming down the stretch. There we go. That's it. 14 red. That's a $600 win. We're up $1,185. And let's go ahead and go back to 60 where we started. So that was a good hit there. And let's go ahead and spin. We got a minute and a half left. That's a 35 black. That's a partial loss, I think. Yes, so we just go ahead and take that loss. And we're up $1,170. We're going to stay at base level. And here we go. That's a 24 black. Okay, that's a partial loss. We're up $1,155. We'll keep the bet at base level. Here we go. I thought it was going to hit the 2 for us, but we at least broke even with that hit on the 0. So that doesn't hurt us any. We're up $1,155. And let's spin again. A minute left. Another 0, but that doesn't hurt us. It's nice when you have a system where at least the 0 doesn't hurt you. And here we go. Because a lot of systems it does, and it's never fun. That's a 25 red. But it's nice when you hit 0 and it either breaks even or wins. And that's a total loss, so we're going to double up to 120. All right, we got 30 seconds left with this one. That's an 11 black. That's a nice $150 win. We're up $1,245. We're going to drop back to 60. And actually, we're out of time. So after 15 minutes, we made $1,245 with the compounding interest roulette system. My recommendation on this is, this was a $2,000 bankroll with the $60 starting bet. That is, I would play this with dollar units instead of $5 units and do a $1,000 bankroll. So I don't think the bankroll is high enough for starting with $5 on each one of those bets. But you guys test it out and let me know what you guys think. But it did really, really well today. I just think it needs to be a little bit safer. And then also, thank you, Sonny. Your system did fantastic today. But this one is the winner, but was a little bit more volatile. So I hope you guys really enjoyed that, and I hope you're enjoying the channel. And if you are, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep growing this community of people that love roulette. And we're testing these systems out every single day in the search for the best roulette system possible. I love it, and I hope you guys do as well. And this is the Roulette Master, and have a great day, everybody.